Good morning. It's August the 20, no, July, July the 27th. Lovely 16 degrees Celsius. Only going to 25 today, so it's cooled off. I thought I would go up to the west end of Victoria, which I haven't been for a while. I thought of it because apparently the lawn bowling club up there is hosting a national youth lawn bowling championship soon, and I thought I'd walk by. They won't be there with the competitors yet, but I just thought it just made me think of that part of the neighborhood where I haven't walked for a while. So we'll work our way up to Victoria Avenue, then go out west and maybe walk in that neighborhood and then come back. That's the plan. I'm also hoping that I've got a smoother video. I think yesterday was quite jerky, but I think it's because there's an adapter on one end of the phone required for the microphone, which makes the phone a little wide. And on this gimbal, if I'm not careful, that ends up shoved right up against the frame of the gimbal. And I think that may have been what was transmitting the jerkiness yesterday. We'll find out when I get back and take a look at this. I mean, it looks okay in the on the phone, as far as I can tell, but sometimes the jerkiness doesn't really show until I get... And I don't understand, because my old gimbal, I mean, I go back and look at my old videos and they're fine. Then I got a brand new one, jerky, and this one, which is a much nicer one in many ways, and I like many aspects of it, has also been jerky, but I think that may have been what was going on. So, we'll find out. Again, this is Tommy Douglas's old house. You can buy, if you want, has an indoor swimming pool. An odd thing in a house that belonged to Canada's first socialist premier, but anyway. I'm glad it's a little cooler. I'm wearing a black shirt, and that can... I wonder if I should have cleaned the lenses on this. Sometimes they're smudged, and I don't realize that till I get back and look at the video either, because of course it's a phone, and I handle it a lot. I keep trying to remind myself to clean the lenses every time I go out. Maybe if I just pause for a second here. I'm going to give them a little rub here. Oop. It didn't like that. It complained about it. The gimbal went bing. That's okay, gimbal. Relax. Okay, now we carry on. Tomorrow I'll be in Saskatoon. I might do a walk over the bridges there. Kind of thinking I will. Going up for a book launch. My Endless Sky Books, which is a separate but connected publishing enterprise with my Shadowpaw Press. There's a book that I did through that called The School of the Haunted River. It's being launched at McNally Robinson tomorrow night, so I'll be up there. If you happen to be in Saskatoon, 7 o'clock at McNally Robinson. It's an interesting book because it's by a deceased author, noted outdoors woman named Colleen Gerwing, and she worked on the book for many years with various writers in residence and mentors, including D. Hobsbawm Smith, who's now the Poet Laureate of Saskatchewan. And Dee edited the book, and then it came to me, and I took it on, and I edited it myself. We'll just zigzag our way over, I think, towards Elphinstone and then up to Victoria. Anyway, it's a very interesting book about canoeing in the north, a novel that has a lot of accurate information about canoeing and outdoor survival in northern Saskatchewan. College Avenue closed. Elphinstone to Montague starts today, July 27th. Oh, that's good to know. Elphinstone to Montague. College Avenue just goes to Elphinstone is the way I always think of it. Let's go up Garnet Street here. Get a kind of a nice look at the trees here because they don't extend all the way down to the corner, so you can see the kind of overarching elm trees we have in this neighborhood. Let's cross over. Take a look down the alley. Nice garden here. Lots of flowers, no grass, and a fence. I like that one. Don't think it would work for our house, but it's nice for that house. Ours, unfortunately, is more like this. Bare grass, nothing growing. Maybe we'll get there once we get other things done. Hear a dove somewhere. Just a lovely, lovely morning. As far as I can tell, nobody's watching me, but not live. Perhaps you're watching the recording, so welcome, if so. It's funny, sometimes somebody would be there right as soon as I start walking, and other days it seems like nobody's around. Another house for sale. Looks like this one has a swing set. There's our first dog. Actually, let's go on up, Cameron. Another dog up ahead of us, so that's two already. Still don't have those bingo cards, though. Won't be too long. It's already almost August. By the time we get to the end of August, we'll start seeing yellow leaves. That's about when the flowers get to their peak, and then sometime in September it frosts. And that's the end of them for another year. It always seems like they just barely started growing. There's a park up here, kind of a park. It's really a playground for Holy Rosary School, which I believe is closing. That's the school over there. New house there, mixed in with the older ones. See the cathedral up there, towers. So here's the playground. Then over there is the back of the what used to be a nunnery. It's now condos, which I've walked in front of many times. I've occasionally walked, there's a path over there by the trees, I've occasionally walked along. I think this video is smoother than yesterday's, since I don't have it jammed up against the side of the gimbal like I did yesterday. Pretty sure that's what was transmitting most of the jerkiness. I mean, there's always a little motion. It doesn't completely damp out anything, but it's a lot smoother than if I was just carrying the phone without a gimbal. It's actually my fourth gimbal. First one had developed a problem. I got another one, which I lost or had stolen. I'm not sure which. There's a nice view of the cathedral towers through the trees there. So then I tried the latest iteration of those older gimbals, and it didn't seem to work at all. No matter what I did, it was not smooth. So I decided to go up a notch to this one, which has some features I really like. But some of the walks haven't been as smooth on this one as I would like, but I think that might be, hopefully I have found that problem. So if you're watching, let me know if the video looks pretty smooth. As we continue walking through the neighborhood here, heading to Elphinstone, and then we'll go up to Victoria, go out past the Long Bowling Club. And try not to repeat ourselves as we make the return trip. There's some short streets here that don't go through, which can be annoying if you don't know it and you're trying to drive from Albert to Elphinstone. Only some streets go all the way through, otherwise you have to zig around these shorter ones here. That's a small, older house there. This is 13th up here. I'll probably go down to the Elphinstone corner. Although it depends. If absolutely nobody's coming, I could cross up here, but it's not a crosswalk. So I walked down 13th just the other day. Walked by the end of this street, going that way to my right. Morning shadows are always dramatic too. Another one for sale. Oh, that one has sold. So if you really like the looks of that one, too bad. You can't get it. That's Elphinstone right there. So if I can't cross here, I cross there instead. Oh, I can cross here though. All right, let's cross here. Then we'll go on up this way to Victoria. Another nice block. Nice older houses. A few nice yards. These yards are smaller than ours. Ours is set further back and longer, skinnier lots. Well, a lot and a half actually is what we have. Comes a truck of some sort. Dump truck, city truck, garbage truck. I don't know. It doesn't have a name on it. And some of the older houses over here. I see people walking like that with their head down, staring at the ground. You can see a nice tunnel effect there on the trees. I don't know if that's a spine problem they've got, or it's just I don't know. It always looks weird to me. Stand up straight. Didn't your mother ever tell you that? But I suppose it could be a spine curvature issue. So probably not fair. Here's Victoria Avenue. Busier traffic, but we'll go down here where there's a light to cross. Then walk on down to Pasqua Street. that is either. Looks like a shovel on the end of it. Looks like it of some sort. That one said local waste on it. We do have a pilot project that's slowly spreading out for an additional bin in the back, kind of compost and lawn waste kind of thing. That might be what that truck is part of. Light just changed. If we're lucky, it'll stay that way. It's not going to stay that way long enough. Well, I'm going to go to the other side anyway, so we'll cross in that direction. Just down there you can see Mosaic Stadium, home of the Saskatchewan Roughriders of the Canadian Football League. Not going there today though. I think we're away for the next home game, so we'll have to give those tickets to somebody or sell them. The Riders have now lost 2 in a row, and we lost our starting quarterback, so not sure how much demand there's going to be for the tickets. Yeah, we'll just go down to the end of Victoria here, and then we'll work our way back. Smaller houses out here. You get much bigger ones further up Victoria. Oh, there's a few good-sized ones, but that side seems to have some bigger ones than this side. Often asked what the bands are on the trees. They're to prevent flightless insects from climbing up and laying their eggs in the tree. If they do that, then their larvae eat the leaves, and in a bad infestation, they can pretty much strip the tree. There's actually 2 insects, I believe, that helps prevent. The larvae are actually for a moth, but the female is flightless, at least when she's laying her egg, so that stops them from climbing up into the tree. It's usually just black plastic over fiberglass insulation, duct taped to the tree, and then smeared with axle grease. There's a nice looking older house. I like that look. There's something going on up ahead, and the sidewalk looks wet, so I may have to dodge that. Once you get across this next street, there's a bit of a park and a playground and an ice rink, but obviously no ice in it this time of the year. I clearly don't want to go through it. I'll get sprinkled on, and they've got the sidewalk pretty much blocked, whatever they're doing. So I'll go over and walk along the boulevard to avoid that. Seem to be fighting with sprinklers. They're in Leslie Park, which I would have walked through, but whatever they're doing, it looks very wet. It smells good though, moisture in the air. I'm hearing music. I don't know what's going on. There's our hunched over lady friend up there that we saw earlier. He's headed somewhere in a hurry. I don't know where. Over there's Mosaic Stadium again. Oh, somebody said hello at last. Good morning, urban environment. Good morning, Johnny Cash official. There's a house that looks like it's been split down the middle by an axe. 2 houses really, I guess. They look like they were separated at birth. I wonder if she's headed to the lawn bowling club. She's wearing a Saskatchewan top. So again, I'm hoping that my video is much smoother today. Yesterday, part of the phone was touching the frame of the gimbal in a way that it wouldn't have been able to damp out the movement. So yeah, that's exactly where she's headed, because this is the lawn bowling club now behind these bushes. And as I said, there's about to be a national youth lawn bowling competition held here. I don't know the dates exactly. There's probably a sign once we get up to the entrance. I've been in the clubhouse. I've never lawn bowled. It's kind of it's been here a long time. Oh yeah, see? The Regina Lawn Bowling Club. Maybe they are getting started with the competition. Oh, there we go. Canadian Youth Lawn Bowling Championships happening right here at the Regina Lawn Bowling Club. And it looks like it is getting started because there's people all over the greens over there. Maybe that's why that lady was in such a hurry. Oh, they're playing the national anthem. I don't think I'm close enough. I have to stop and stand to attention. So they must just be getting going here. For the day, anyway. Don't know how long the competition may have already been on. Or if it's just starting. I'm sure you can look it up. National Youth Lawn Bowling Championships, Regina, 2023. If they'd asked me, I could have sung the national anthem. Unfortunately, you can't really see much of the pitches, I guess they're called, because they're all on the other side of this bush. Anyway, that was kind of the thing that I knew was happening up here that made me think about walking up here, so I'm glad it was actually happening in some fashion. I wonder if you can get more of a look. There's a parking lot here, so does it give you more of a view of the lawn bowling pitches? Find out. Not really. Still trees between here and there, but anyway, yeah, somewhere down there. Nothing to do in this parking lot, so I won't linger there. We'll go up here. This will take us around the corner. Then we'll be kind of doing the turnaround and headed back from there. How long has this been to here? 23 minutes? Yeah, it'll be about right by the time I turn around and head back. The road curves here and joins Pasqua. Again, I haven't been down here for quite a while. Might even have been winter the last time I was over here. See, the fence closes in. That's because just the other side of the fence is Saskatchewan Drive, which is quite a busy street. There's a big intersection up here where Saskatchewan Drive joins the Louvain Expressway. See the Louvain. You can see a lot of black pavement because there's been a lot of work done on the Louvain to fix it this year, so resurface it, I guess. And that's Saskatchewan Drive down there. I think we'll go down the alley. For our turnaround. There's the street. Let's go down the alley. It's paved. Should be home by 9:30ish, a bit later. I still got an hour and a half before my very important meeting with Litdistco sales force. As my publishing company moves to a new level of distribution and hopefully sales. Here's the alley. Looks like a tree house, but it's probably a shed somebody's working on. That Tyvek wrap is always something that shows up at some point. It'll be showing up on the addition to our house at some point, presumably. Right now it's just framed wood and plywood, or particle board. More Tyvek on another shed. Doing yard work, it looks like. Could walk back along the creek from this direction, but I don't think I will, because that's creeks are for Monday, lake is for Friday. Good morning, Angus. Not a safe place to jaywalk here because people come around the corners. And unless I'm really lucky, I might try it. Just to get to that little park over there. Looks like I can do it all right. Okay, we will jaywalk. Go down here to this little park. Maybe we will end up at the creek, going this direction. So now we're looking out towards the edge of town, really. There's not much more on that side of 13th. I walked there on, was it Monday when I did the creek walk, or was it Tuesday? So there's this little bit of a park here. If we go up to the corner, we can walk through it. And then we'll head home. Not going to cross the intersection. Again, I crossed going the other way on. I guess it was Monday. Tuesday was hot and my time was broken up by various things, so I didn't try to do a walk. We'll go this way. Nice black pavement. And they've got stripes on it now too, which is always helpful. Through the park. I think the image is pretty smooth. If you're watching, it was very jerky yesterday, so I think I fixed that by rebalancing things. There's always some noticeable footstep movement, but it shouldn't be really, really jerky. I think we'll take 14th from here. There's the airport over there. You can see a radar dome sticking up. So if I do a walk tomorrow, it will be Saskatoon, probably over the Broadway Bridge and then back over the, what used to be called the Traffic Bridge. Looks like an old bridge, but it's actually a rebuilt bridge. So I might do that tomorrow. I have the day to myself before I have to be at McNally Robinson at If I go that way, I end up in the park that I walk through all the time, so I guess I'll go this way. This is 14th. It has a bike lane, as you can see. I want to get on the shady side of it, though, once we get across Pasqua up here. It's not really hot, but I am wearing a black shirt, so I'm noticing the passive solar heating. If I was only wearing solar cells, I could generate electricity while I walk. This gimbal actually does have a way to plug your cell phone into it, I think, and draw on the gimbal battery, which gives you longer life on your cell phone. Obviously the gimbal battery is bigger. And while I don't need that in the summer, it might be useful in the winter when cold temperatures kill your battery really quick. Bridge is still closed down there. A little more shade on this side, so we'll walk on this side. It is heavier than my old one, but as I mentioned before, it has a nice feature where in this setting, it keeps your horizon constant. So even if I point up at the sky with my hand or point down at the ground, the horizon stays where it's supposed to be. It just means that when I want to look up or down, I have to remember to use the joystick rather than point. There is a setting that would let you point, but I find this is generally better, I think. And I'm the only one in charge here, so what I think goes. Mixture of new and older houses in these neighborhoods as well. Again, the park is right down there. I usually walk along one more block down on 15th, but I'm on 14th today. I'll raise it a little bit right now, I think. Of course, horizon is always at eye level. It's one of the tricks when you're doing art. If you want it to look like your people are standing on the same level as you are, the horizon runs through their eyes, the average person's eye level, the eye level of the viewpoint character, I guess. So if I put it right in the middle, that'd actually be more what I see when I look ahead. But by raising it a little bit, you get less of the ground and more of the buildings and trees, which are probably more interesting than the sidewalk, I'm guessing. Unless you're a real sidewalk fanatic and really love examining sidewalks, that would be a very limited YouTube channel, one would think. Sidewalks of the world. Crows. I'm so close to being able to monetize this. I just need about 78, I think, last time I looked. 78 more subscribers. And the monetization opportunities roll in. I could make, as I often say, enough for a cup of coffee a month, maybe. I'm already putting ads on it. I just don't get anything. So please, if you haven't subscribed, please subscribe. If you know someone who likes to subscribe to YouTube channels, tell them to subscribe to mine. I don't care if they watch. They just have to subscribe. I've got the watch hours. I just don't have the subscribers. Queen Street. She's a killer queen. I was listening to a little Queen recently. See, the trees are shorter here. A sign of a newer neighborhood. They're still a good size, so a sign of a not brand new neighborhood. Another dog and owner. This path will take us by Connaught School. Oh, look at those sunflowers peeking over the fence there. They're certainly enjoying the sun. low maintenance corner here. I'll have to mow or weed that area. Actually, you still have to do some weed control, as I'm discovering out back, where last year we had our behind our garage gravel, but there are weeds growing up around the edges, and I really need to get some weed killer and take those out. Some of them you can pull out, but others a good spray of herbicide is called for. Nice bit of shade here. Heard a truck was pulling in somewhere. Trailer Park Betty. It's not a lifestyle I've ever aspired to, going and staying in trailer parks. I suppose ultimately it's cheaper than a hotel, but you don't get room service and you don't get nice restaurants just downstairs and all that good stuff, which is what I like in a hotel. Not to mention comfortable beds, king size sometimes. I'll be staying in one in Saskatoon tomorrow night, and I think I only have one more hotel stay in my future for the rest of the year, going to CanCon in Ottawa in October. Current plan. Nice shade again, so I can see if anybody has said anything new. Nobody has. So there's Connaught School over there. It used to be an old school. Built in 1914, was unsalvageable, the engineer said. So down it came and this brand new one was built. Lots of people complained about the destruction of the old school, and from a neighborhood, I suppose, the old brick school was a landmark, but if you're a kid, you'd much rather go to this than that old school, believe me. And I know the same is true of Daven School, which is where my daughter went, but they have put a lot of money into it, so it was 12 years younger than Connaught, and that made a difference as well. So it seems to be safe for now anyway. They renamed it because that's the kind of stupid world we live in, but it's always going to be Daven School to me. Let's cross to this side so I can use the light to cross up here. And then we'll be zigzagging back through Cathedral again, but a different path than I took to get over here. Is this the one that takes us by the outdoor kids art gallery? Is it this street or another one? I can never remember until I'm walking by it. I kind of forget it. I don't think it's this street, so I'll cross to the other side. Oh, it is this one. Okay. False alarm. I don't know why. That didn't look right. I think I read that as lattice work, but it's actually frames with children's artwork in it. There's also a painting on the garage here. Here, they explain it. The gallery on 14th. For 2023, they opened it, back when the Cathedral Arts Festival was here. But it is called the Gallery on 14th. And it's, as you can see, children's artwork. A quick tour of an art gallery of sorts. Feel free to pause if there's something that you really want or impressed with. I think I'm getting too close, all of a sudden they're not fitting. I guess I have to keep it at this angle. There we go. Yeah, if I look straight at it, I'm too close. There you go, the gallery on 14th, which is where we are. I crossed up there before, but now I'm going to cross over here. See what they're doing down here. They are digging a hole. They're fixing a hole where the rain gets in. Stops your mind from wandering where it will go. Since my 64th birthday just happened last week, Beatles songs have been in my head. Plus we listened to Beatles while we were driving, so When I'm 64 is obviously my theme song at the moment, because I am, and will be for a whole year. Good thing about turning 65 next year is I'll start getting Canada pension, which will subsidize everything else I do. Digging a hole. I don't know why. Won't be using that street for a while though. Probably a water main issue. That's usually why they dig holes. Or a sewer. Broken pipe of some kind is the most likely reason to do that. When I get older, losing my hair, many years from now. Let's take this little... Oh, hello, pussycat. There he is. Sorry, I forget I have to use the joystick. I'm not going to bother you. I'm just going to walk by. Siamese. How are you? Are you a pet or a stray? It'd be a bit rare to see a stray Siamese. Hope he's not stray. The streets are not safe for pussycats. Our cat is an indoor cat and will always be an indoor cat. It's even in the contract we signed when we bought him, not that they could enforce it. All right, this way. I think there's another comment, if I can find a shady spot to read it. Nope, there's a dog. Right here, I should be able to see it. Moira, yes, it is a nice day. Very nice. Probably now about 17 degrees maybe, only going to 25. So our brief heat wave has gone down to more normal, or average I should say, temperatures. Here's College Avenue. This is Athol and College, if you're following along on Google Maps. I'll go by the little row of row houses over here, presumably condos. They don't have the look of a rental place. And there's 4 of them, so it's a fourplex, I guess. Quadruplex. Quadrophonia. Another name that will demonstrate that I'm 64, that I know that that's the name of an album. Oh. This is a bit different, deeper in my, sorry, got distracted by the van. Heavier, this gimbal, in my, just realized the fingers on my right hand were getting numb, so got to get them some circulation. Street. We will go down to Angus Crescent, which is my crescent. Not my personal crescent. See, I walked by this house going the other way, so we're cutting across the route I took earlier, but not repeating myself. Not repeating myself. I am not repeating myself. get home, have some breakfast, make some more coffee. So I didn't eat anything before I did this walk. Guess I won't be walking around the lake tomorrow because I'm going to Saskatoon, but as I said, I might try to do a walk up over the bridge and back. One of the bridges, Broadway Bridge to be precise. And then back over the other one. The traffic bridge, or Victoria, whatever they call it. It used to be called the traffic bridge, because it was the first bridge that allowed for traffic over the river. A long time ago. It was in my book, Historic Walks of Regina and Moose Jaw. It was kind of falling apart. They demolished it, but then they built a new one that looks very much like the old one. All right, we will now go down this way. It wasn't college. I called that college. It's actually 15. 15th in Athol I was at. This is college up here. And this is our crescent. So I will simply continue on down the crescent and I will be home. And a good length walk today, just about right. I'm anxious to see if it's smoother than it has been, certainly than it was yesterday. See if I actually did find the problem here. One reason for getting this gimbal was that it's supposed to be able to carry a heavier phone, and perhaps if I took the phone out of its case, that might help too. I may try that if it still looks unacceptably jerky to me. I don't want to be an unacceptable jerk. Angus Crescent, it's literally all downhill from here. Nice older houses. This neighborhood was, a few years ago, named one of North America's best old house neighborhoods by an architectural magazine, or home magazine, or some kind of magazine. Because we do have a lot of the older houses. A few new ones have gone in, but most of them are of a vintage from the 20s generally, maybe 30s. Ours is 26. The oldest in the neighborhood is 1914. So that was kind of the big building years, would have been along in there. I mean, many of them have been renovated, of course, including ours, although not the exterior so much. Not yet, anyway. It needs restuccoing, or stucco repair, really, not restuccoing, and painting. We need new front windows. New ground floor windows in general would be good, but especially the living room windows. That's where most of our heat escapes, and it's very cold by those windows in the wintertime. Also, there's only one heating vent, and it's nowhere near the windows. I suppose we could have had another run put in, put a new register in the floor, but we haven't done that. We do have a fireplace, which has helped a lot. Gas fireplace. So you can just turn it on and off as needed. Again, Tommy Douglas's house, so we're almost home. Which is good, because the coffee I did eat has caught up with me, so I'm ready to be home now. and get ready for my meeting with the Lit Disco sales force in an hour and a half here. Not that I have anything to get ready for, I just have to be there on time and be prepared to talk about my books, I guess. Again, that's a very cool house. That's a newer house, probably 70s, but what you can't see from out here is that it's one big open space, so it goes all the way up there with their skylights. That's all open, right down to below ground level, so it's a huge open space. How effectively that's heated and cooled, I'm not sure. Since we didn't actually buy it, even though Margaret Ann would have loved to have, at least so she said. Never had to worry about the practicalities of temperature control in a huge open space like that. I would hope the architect who built it to live in, it's another nice one on this corner, the gazebo. I would hope the architect thought of that when he built it. And here's our corner where we will stop. So that's today's walk. Thanks for walking with me. Hopefully tomorrow in Saskatoon. If not, well, something came up. But I will be back. So, bye for now, and don't forget to subscribe if you haven't.